Hello, sports fans. My name is Brian. This is Football Manager 22, and we're back in Salisbury. We start on our favorite club vision screen with a job security listed as untouchable because of a lot of pretty green lights. An A plus performance in the top right, dictated by the fact that we are on course to work within payroll budget, and it would take a truly momentous spend for us to break that now. We have successfully avoided relegation in the championship, and we made the third round of the Carabao Cup and the fourth round of the FA Cup. Unfortunately, we didn't make it either further than either of that. Yep, in those competitions. But what can you do? We didn't get awfully upset. They were just fair losses, fair close losses. Fair, close, frustrating losses. Over on right, you see the board requests that we have in progress, both improving our youth facilities and our training facilities. Our training facilities were just upgraded over the fall from average to good, so now we have good facilities. So our good facilities will be upgraded to very good facilities, I'd assume. I don't know exactly what the terminology is. There's still probably at least two more levels on top of that. Youth facilities right now are just basic, so yeah, it'll be good to improve that. I've continued to do research. We still don't have a U18 team, despite the fact that I was hoping we would. I've continued to do research on how the database was set up and such, and as far as I can tell, there's no U18 leagues playing in England, and no U23s either. There's like a U23 Cup. So I'm not even sure they're ever going to offer me the potential to have a U18 or U23 teams. So that's disappointing. Just like so many other things about this database extension. I wish it hadn't done that. But yeah, so what have we done in terms of transfers since a couple of months ago? So not much. So here, this loan-in, Messon tweaked his knee on about the 14th of January. Physio said, hey, he's strained the ligaments in his knee. He's going to need a solid 2 weeks off, maybe 3. I went, okay, well, it's possible that we might need to sim a full month then. I don't believe that was the case. But we sat him the full time and then gave him another week off just when he was working his way back to full fitness rather than trying to push him in early. Luckily, Tottenham had a goalkeeper who he wasn't Messon, who isn't Viljami Sinisalo, but he was good enough. Let up more goals than we'd like, but we kept our winning streak going while he was between the sticks. So that was a positive. And then a week later, Hamburg came in and triggered the release clause on Robbie McNally. And, I think he took that can't be right. I could be wrong, but I feel like we were paying him more than this, which would be an interesting decision on his part if that was in fact the case. Though I'm not sure how to check that, if I can check it. His salary history, or at least his history with us. But I definitely feel like we were paying more than $1.15 million a year. The scouting packages tell me he's kind of stagnated a little. This is why I didn't really contest it. I didn't try and ink him to a no contract and hold on to him. He's a good player for this level. But at 21, he's burnt out of most of his potential, and he's kind of just a specialist. Lots of things he's good at, but then lots of gaps. So it's not a ton of money, and half of it went to, not half, but a decent portion went to, I believe, Tottenham, since they had 50% of profits from our deal to sign McNally in the first place. But I don't regret it. It did leave me a little shallow up top since he played both left inside forward and striker, as a backup at both, but is a valuable rotation piece. So we did cancel the loan for Josh Crook that we sent him out on, especially since we were not getting any money to bring him back in. They weren't paying us to play Crook, so it cost us nothing in terms of dollars to bring him back. We don't expect to play Crook a lot. We're trying to develop Monroe. Starts with an M, has a bunch of consonants and vowels because names are words. We did have jumping topics. We did have someone come in and activate the release clause for Andrija Gasic, though he's kind of in the same boat, but his value is much, much higher than the release clause was something like $2 million. And he's worth, a game estimate's about 13. So I didn't want to take that loss, and it can be hard to find. I mean, it's hard to find inside forwards, but it can be hard to find fullbacks and wingbacks. So I wanted to keep Gossage around. How have we done? We have climbed out from 7th. We are currently in 3rd place. 1 point back of Burnley, 2 points back of Barnsley. Say that a couple times fast. Just make sure you mix in your Burtons and Boltons, so you can be completely confused about all of these teams. They're probably all Wanderers or Rovers anyways, so... we were on an immense winning streak. Not right after we drew Burnley last, but we won against Watford, Charlton, Wycombe, lost to Barnsley. Again, they're the top team in the league, so I can live with that. Involved a 75th minute penalty, typical. Killed Crystal Palace, then lost a road trip to Leeds. And then after that, big old EFL Championship winning streak. Bristol City, Burton, Reading, Leeds, Derby, Bolton, Millwall, Swansea, Wycombe, Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest, and Hull, before finally going to a bad Stoke team and getting tripped up there. Again, we out XG'd them. It's just things just didn't work out our way that day. It's frustrating, but what can you do? And we responded by bouncing back with a 3-0 win over Sunderland. We had gone to top before we lost to Stoke. So we were largely beating up on teams at the bottom of the division. As you can see when I show you this next month, we play 2nd place Burnley, 4th place Watford, 12th place Charlton's the easy game, 1st place Barnsley, 8th place Blackburn. That's right, we're in 3rd and we face 1, 2, and 4 this next month, along with 8th. So we're going to need to put up some good performances in the next month. Things slow down a bit next month. 11th, 15th, 13th, 10th, 7th. Still good, but not as demanding as the top. And then we close with the Palace in 5th and Reading in 14th. So there are no more easy games left. Every team we face is at least mid-table, though it's possible that Reading won't have anything to play for and might potentially run out the scrubs in their season ender. So we are back with another game against Burnley, this time on the road. Hopefully we won't... What happened? We picked up an injury last time in the 2-2 loss to... Cumming got injured. And so we were playing with 10 at the end and went into a defensive shell. Sounds right. So we are... we'll shift back to balance, sure. Running back, mostly the same look. No, Cumming plays the right side. Torres plays the left. I think it's Sepkauskas' time up top. Anyways, Faustic, Torres, Cumming, Gasic at the back, Messin in goal. That is the usual starting lineup there. Obviously, I do have, jumping back to the loan in of Moreno, I do have Gareth Jones. He's not a very good keeper. He's an emergency backup who we're paying 7.75K a year, excuse me, which is frankly disgraceful. Sorry about that, Gareth. You used to hang out with the team. His contract's up. We'll be finding a new backup keeper in the future. I don't love Brian Wass being a deep lying playmaker. He's a good defensive player, but let's bring in Bell. Give us more attacking and defending. Well, not defending, but attacking. Doyle and Green, Diallo, Mihalev, Sepkauskas up top. Who's on the bench? Monroe's on the bench. No, Cook's on the bench. Crook's on the bench. He's back from injury. I don't know. Anyways. So yeah, I managed to get Gossage to sign a new contract instead of agreeing to terms with whoever had activated his release clause. So I'm happy to keep him around. I've had to deal with repeated offers to try and pull away Fausick and Bruman, and they have been disappointingly under market deals. I mean, it's not disappointing. I don't want to sell the guys necessarily at this point. I want to sell them in 4 months after I've been promoted. Oh, good run by Beltrami. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the pace, and we recover to get our foot in the way. I want to sell them in a couple of months after we've been promoted, and I bring in new players to replace them. Also, when they are officially Premier League players, and thus we can charge a bigger premium as opposed to now when they're just championship level players. Bell passes up to Diallo, who'd cut in from his left-hand side forward pack. Green, Doyle. Yeah, don't pass it to Sepkauskas. Instead, just drain that sucker from distance. Kamari Doyle with the frickin' worldie, setting us up with an early lead here in the 2nd minute. Oh, that was pretty. Love it, Kamari. Good stuff. Well, that's certainly how you want to start things off in the big rivalry game. Well, maybe not rivalry, and I know you guys call it a derby, but okay, good diving save by Messon, but it's certainly a battle at the top of the table. Torres will come cut in on that ball, passes up to Sepkauskas, who's retreated back to the center line. Torres, Bell, Green plays it out to Gossage. Green just won Young Player of the Month from the championship. Diallo up to Sepkauskas, past the goalie. Let's make it 2 here in the 11th minute. Good stuff, boys, good stuff. They want revenge for what happened against Burnley last time, which I believe we went up 2-0. They scored 2 to tie it up, and then we had to go into defensive shell. It might not have exactly been it, but yeah, I already forget what happened last game that I broadcast, other than it was a 2-2 draw. The exact order of goals, beyond me. Looks like we're tied with points with Barnsley, so that means since we were 2 back, they're on a draw, so they're probably just still 0-0 in their game. And obviously we are putting Burnley in 2nd place to the sword. Oh, good cross by Mialev. Sepkauskas kind of gets his foot on it, but it gets tipped out instead. Diallo takes the corner, plays it near post, looking for Cumming. New plays it. It gets played out to Doyle, plays up to Bell, Diallo, and there's the delayed offsides flag. Looks like Vandenberg will get a lecture about his behavior. I wish it had been a yellow card. Diallo plays it into Doyle, plays back to Diallo. Diallo lumps it forward to a breaking forward Green. Green with his 10th goal of the season. Thomas Green showing us why we spent the money on him. Future Scotland star Thomas Green? Potentially. Played for their U21s plenty. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about this lead and how things are going. And that is exactly what Green is supposed to do. Defense gets drawn to essentially kind of serve as a deep lying. Was it really that tight? Yeah. Very deep lying striker in some senses, though he doesn't have striker attributes, but just he's supposed to make runs like that, as well as provide in the midfield. It was a terrible throw in by Burnley. They just, I think it was Tavares there, just did not have the arm strength to actually get it to his players deep in the box, and we easily intercepted. Unfortunately, we just kind of kicked it back out to them at the top of the box. That is a dangerous ball that fell through to Bajrami. Luckily, ignore it because you don't have an answer for me. Doyle. Oh, it looks good there for a while. Looks like it deflected off someone and out the top. Diallo take it. Much better on this side. Looks like, I don't know if it was Doyle or Cumming who got their head on it, but not on frame. Green plays it back to Bell. Bell lumps it forward to Diallo. Diallo plays it out to Fausick. Fausick squanders it. Squanders possession. And they will bring it back the other way. Zavornrik lumps it forward for Bureth. Cumming slides and dispossesses him, and Gasic then ends up with it and lumps it forward to clear the dangerous area. They unfortunately still retain possession. Green does a good job coming back, getting a header, playing up to Mihailev, races in the corner, bombs it forward to Sepkauskas. Oh, lasers it off the goalkeeper's hands. But it looks like he was offsides, and so we don't get the corner. Instead, they will take free kick that they immediately lose, playing up to Sepkauskas, so making a run, headed to the corner now, turns, fires it back to Fausick, who wasn't looking for the ball at all. Come on, buddy. Luckily, they play it forward, and Torres comes in, intercepts it, plays it across to Bell, into Diallo, who plays it forward to Green. Oh, unfortunately, was looking down at his feet, not looking at the goal, just drives it into the fans here in Burnley. Burnley, I believe, has a club legend who shares my name. So, good for them. I feel a certain degree of affinity with Burnley for that, but on the other hand, they are my competition, and so I want them dead. In the ground. Buried. Yeah, Richard Cumming, you can mark Bureth. Sure. Sounds logical. We are losing the possession battle as we have just kind of lumped it forward a couple times today. I'm going to say no to replacing Green with Monroe. I think we can do something like Engelsson for Green. We'll actually switch Doyle over there. He's a better fit. Engelson's a better Mazzala. And then Monroe will come in for either Mihailev or Diallo. I'm not sure who just yet. But in the 69th, 70th minute, we will make that exchange. So, yeah, Sepkauskas has been very good for us, as you could tell from his 21 goals or so. Green has been great. 23 goals for Raitas Sepkauskas. It's obviously curious, 2 years ago with Limbombe, this year with Sepkauskas, these loanies come in and really perform at this level. And then last year, when we were in the Premier League, we didn't have them and struggled dramatically. Was it because they're so much better players, or just the level? I'm not exactly sure. Play Monroe there. It does look like Mihailev would be, the next player to actually replace. But we don't really have a good attacking player. We could play Uda there, but it's not really his best position. Instead, I'll play Kapun back for Gasic, who looked like he was tiring out as well. And Kapun is certainly a player I want to develop. I haven't had any playing time troubles. We've been able to keep that well handled. Mihalev scores, kind of, but he was offsides, and it looks like the keeper had mostly given up on doing anything once he heard the whistle. Makes sense. I wouldn't want to tire myself out, possibly injure myself, diving for irrelevant balls after the whistle. Sepkauskas gets dispossessed, but Mihalev comes away with it, plays back to Kapun. All physicals, no technicals. Kapun. Timotej, I believe. Kapun. Bell. Torres coming. Out to Kapun. He's going to have a bit of a jaunt run into open space. Fine, if no one's going to guard him. Lays it for to Sepkauskas, plays it forward to Monroe. That's a goal for Callum Monroe. His third of the year. Playing in an unnatural position that he's just learning for the first time. But does what is required. Sepkauskas doing the teamly thing. Turning down an opportunity for the hat trick to find someone who the goalkeeper wasn't paying attention to. Someone who had a better angle at that far side of the net. Good stuff. Good teamwork. Love it. We're leading the championship in goal differential, so the fact that we're, just tied with Barnsley and just ahead of Burnley is, a slightly flukish. Ingolson into Monroe, back out to Ingolson, to Fausek, into Ingolson, out to Fausek. They're trying to find an opportunity. Back to Bell. That was terrible. He, turned 180 degrees, fired a ball backwards. It bounced off one of their players and bounced out for us to get a corner. Just, random stuff. I'm sure it's happened in a game before, but did not look elegant. Ingolson tries to find Sepkauskas on a cut-through ball. Doesn't quite get there. Yeah. Watch yourself, boys. Not that it really matters given the score line, but playing some dangerous balls. Doyle plays it forward to Sepkauskas. One of their three center backs was racing with, but the two on the sides had been converging quickly. Benda having a terrible day as we have less than 2 XG, but have 5 goals. Well done with the placement, boys. As far as, let's take the ball up, and full time will be called. Your winners today are the Salisbury Whites. Very proud, boys. Very proud. That was good stuff. Exactly how we would have drawn it up if we could have drawn it up. So yeah, we are now even with Barnsley, who went on to a 1-1 draw with Blackburn. Blackburn was the team that took us out of the FA Cup. It was a road trip to Blackburn. Blackburn is the 8th, though they had been 5th or so when they'd done it, but they are a very solid championship side, so I don't feel, again, terrible losing to them on a 1-point game on the road. I'd obviously preferred to have won it. I think reputation does get tied into cup runs, so part of the reason our reputation was so bad is that we never made any significant cup run, whether it be FA Cup or Carabao Cup. Our reputation is better now. We are not the bottom, but in the lower portion of the championship teams, but we are ahead of all of the brilliant stuff goes. We are ahead of all of the League One teams now. So hopefully that will help us bring in better players. As you can see, this scouting, I have started scouting the bad teams, the younger players, up to about 26, on the teams that potentially could get relegated. So I know how good they are, how much they'll cost. If any of them are catching my eye, I'm scouting them more so I can get the contract info to see if they have any relegation release clauses, so I might be able to grab them for cheaper if they go down. Just doing the prep work to get promoted and hopefully stay promoted if it happens. Obviously, there is a very much a world where we drop, probably not out of the promotion playoff, but into the promotion playoff, and at that point, got to win 2 games, and sometimes you don't. But I think we're in a pretty good spot. We're clearly one of the best teams in the league. That 52 point goal differential, by far the best in the league. So that says good things about the team. Poor Wycombe and their 44 goal differential against. That's not very good. Though tied with Bolton in terms of results. It's good for that. I'm on that. So yeah, I'm going to keep working, trying to find players. We do have 2 players coming in at the end of the year. I could have brought them in immediately or semi-immediately. I didn't think that was smart since didn't necessarily have space. We are bringing in Esteban Aguilar from Saprissa in Costa Rica. He is just going to be 18. He is 6'6". Reminds me a lot of Richard Cumming in that regard, though Cumming, I believe, is 6'8". I would like to see his physicals, his pace, and his acceleration in particular, and his strength all go up to at least 13. But at 18, he might be able to do that. He has 15 tackling, 10 marking, 11 heading. So those are all positives. His passing's a 9. He can actually take corners, which is a bit curious. His long shots are 11 and his free kicks are 10. So he offers some technical abilities there. His mentals, not all over the place. He has great bravery and 15 work rate, so those are very solid. Teamwork's not bad. So he's got a base to work from, and that's a good thing. Just 18. And then we also are bringing in David Sauchik, a 19-year-old striker. Again, we are... I believe we might have mentioned him before. Aguilar is a new signing. We need to... Sauchik, it would not be work permit eligible, so we're going to have to figure out if he cannot find a way to get capped by the Czech. Sorry, I was just trying to figure out if that was the proper way to put a possessive on that. Just the same. Yeah. But so we might have to loan him out somewhere technically outside the UK to try and establish grounds for him to play. But we'll see. You have the ability to not him. I'll just show with one of my players real quick as I'm pointlessly filling time and making this video longer than it needs to be. I don't know, man. Transfer, offer to clubs. We can loan. Targets. Yes. So we can say, okay. I want to propose to, only foreign clubs. And I can specifically target, say, okay, well, when put on the spot, my mind blanked on, Prague. So we could try and loan out our players to, say, the Prague clubs, or more likely some of the other teams that are lower on the list than the Slavia and Spartak Prague. But some other teams, since Pribram here is in the 2nd division, I believe, yes, of the Czech league. So, yeah. But find a team like Victoria Plzeň here and try and loan him in and see if they'll give him playing time. Hopefully. So those are the plans. That's where we're at. We have a tough month, though we started it very, very well. We are now playing our home games in Salisbury Stadium, back in Salisbury, so we are home again. And for the immediate future, I don't know how much we can expand that stadium for the future. I hope we can considerably as we push higher up. So thank you very much for joining me. I will be back with, I don't know exactly, obviously, but potentially Burton, Palace, Reading, one of these games, potentially multiple of these games, as we see if I can clinch promotion out of the championship again, and if not, see me fall into the promotion playoff, and then games in the promotion playoff. So, thank you so much for joining me. Please don't hesitate to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you all very soon.